Listen, yeah. Things that we sharpen our vision, yeah. Oh, yeah. Negativity getting out the way. Now listening to us that we bring life, yeah. Plus it's like the voice of an angel, yeah. Dr. OJ, visionary, extraordinary. That burning like you've been trying to help us. We sitting, bringing life to the dream. That's all we hear, Ruthie, there's happy, and she's so, yeah. Transforming one life at a time. With the best voice that you have, the OJ keep on speaking for us. You're the voice we want to hear. You have the positivity. Dr. OJ keep on speaking for us. Dr. OJ, visionary, extraordinary.
Hello, this is Technology. How are you doing? welcome everybody. Welcome Instagram. Welcome TikTok. I'm gonna do some shout outs before we get started. On your show designs, Shirama Boutique. Thank you on Instagram. We have Inke Konge on TikTok. Thank you so much. Yeah, you're having good feelings. I am having amazing feelings. And of course, we have our YouTube fam, our LinkedIn family, and our Facebook family. So tonight, vendor List Queen LLC. Thank you for joining me. Guys, it's about that time tonight when we go live with Dr. OJ, the Metzger professor. This is our Wednesday live programming, and we are getting amazing, amazing feedback from the content that we are creating on this Wednesday evening or every Wednesday evening when we come live to you on our omnipresent night. That is the night where we show up on every social media platform all at once, guys, all at once. Thank God for technology. Thank God for social media. And thank God for the ability for us to connect with one another every Wednesday. Yes. So, tonight, tonight's program is going to be very interesting because I am bringing you guys lessons that I have learned from my father, lessons from dad. We just celebrated Father's Day, and a lot of things have kind of been intertwining for me. And from a really basic conversation that I was having with a dear friend, and I realized, and he asked me, was like, how come you think and do things the way that you do? And it occurred to me that the person that I have become is due to several things. Nature, of course, my natural ability to be Oyinkansola, just Aquarius. I'm just everything that God created me to be. But most importantly, it is the nurture that I received from the environment, the relationships. And trust me when I say relationships, because my relationships have been very, very intentional. Even from when I was a young girl, my mom, my parents, they were extremely protective. They ensured that we kind of stayed within the family unit. I think I mentioned this. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I think I mentioned this on one of my YouTube episodes. You need to go catch that episode where I was talking about polygamy, multiple baby mamas, and things like that. And on that episode, I was very vulnerable with sharing the fact that I come from a polygamous home. I come from a family where my father used to be a Muslim. That's just the background of who I am. That's what makes me unique. My father used to be a Muslim. Such a cute story, guys. And until I was about the age of 12 or 13, when he became a Christian. And I remember when I was in school, I was in a boarding school, Air Force Girls Military School, really amazing school, high profile school back then in Nigeria. And of course, because when you're in school, you go to like the fellowships and things like that. And in Nigeria, our religion back then, it's like they would scare you into heaven. Like the fear of hellfire, the fear of hellfire is the beginning of wisdom. So, like in school, then they used to show us all these movies. They used to talk about, give your life to Christ or you're going to go to hellfire and all of these things. And they would show all these rapture movies and all these things. And then I remember then that from those experiences, I used to write letters home because I was in the northern part of the country, right? So I would write letters home. And one of those letters was one of the letters I wrote to my dad. And I was telling him, look, being a Muslim is not the way. And I don't, honestly, this is not a religious show. And just giving you my own story. This is my story. This is not in discrimination to any race, religion, sect, or anybody. We live in a world now where we literally have to explain ourselves. We live in a world now where we have to be politically correct. And it's okay because we don't want to offend anybody. And I'm not coming on this show to offend anybody. I absolutely, with the whole of my heart, I love every human being because we are all, whether you're Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Hindu, whatever race, culture, religious persuasion, we are all one thing. We are all humans. And number two, we are all children of God. We are all children of God. So I love everybody, but this is just my story. So I need you to understand that this story is just something that I'm sharing with you so that you guys can not only get to know me better, but so that you can learn and be better for it. So this is it. So I'm just going on with the story. So I told him, it's like, you got to give your life to Christ. You got to, become born again, blah, 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 blah. And a few years later, I later learned, and honestly, just a little girl, what do I know? I was just being a child, you know. But it was many, many years later that my mom told this story where my dad was talking to his friends. And his friends who had known this high profile Muslim man, my dad was very high profile. Like he was the president of his old school association. He attended a Muslim school. He was the chairman for many, many years, the board of, what do they call them then? The people who went on Hajj when they traveled to Mecca. That's what they call it. Like when they traveled to Saudi Arabia, Mecca. In Lagos State, he was no, they called it, I remember. He was the chairman of the Pilgrims Board for many, many, many years. So that means my father was the one in charge of making sure that people traveled under the scholarship of the government to Saudi Arabia back then, because the government used to provide scholarships to Christians and Muslims. The Christians would go to Israel and the Muslims would go to Saudi Arabia for Hajj, and the Christians would go to Israel for the pilgrimage. So he was the chairman of the Pilgrims Board for Muslims for many, many, many years. So now look at this man who was such a high profile in the society, in his circle, amongst his friends. He grew up in a Muslim family. Again, my dad had a lot of things going on with him. He was the firstborn son of his father, a Jinadu from Lagos State, a Muslim family. So he had a lot of things that could have held him back from changing his religious persuasion. But he told the story where he said that the reason he truly, truly, I mean, he was married to, so because he was Muslim, and this is why he was able to have two wives. He was Muslim, so he was permitted to marry up to four wives. So he ended up with two, which in his own category, he was very, very, he was conservative doing that, because a lot of men with the kind of money that he had, the kind of esteem, the kind of prestige, the kind of standard, the kind of whatever societal level that he was in. Let me just not to speak too much English. He had the privilege to marry up to four wives. So he married two. First was my stepmom, and second was my mom. So I am a product of polygamy. And I know a lot of us in the United States, we might not really understand the concept of polygamy. And I have to give you this background story of my family, my dad, so that you understand why those lessons that I learned from my dad mean so much, and how those lessons have really shaped my life today. Hey, Sammy. So now my dad was Muslim and everything, and all of those standards. He was the firstborn son of his family, the family, a Muslim family, polygamous family. He was also at the top level of all the Muslim societies in Nigeria. He was the chairman of the Pilgrims Board in Lagos State. He was the head. He was the president of his old school association and Saruddin College. He was really deep into the Muslim religion and society. So for him to change from being a Muslim to a Christian, and not just any type of Christian, like my dad doesn't just half-ass anything. So if you guys see Dr. O doing things with excellence, wanting to go hard, that's my father. He doesn't half-ass anything. He goes in and he goes hard. So he became a Christian. Well, he told the story that the reason he really decided, because he was married to my mom, who is a Christian. My mom was always a Christian. She came from a Christian family. In fact, her story will come on another day, because she also came from a background of a huge religious leader in Nigeria, like her father, Soremeku, one of the founding fathers of the CNS Church in Nigeria. Another story for another day. Today we're talking about lessons from dad. So my dad became a Christian when I was about age 13 or 14. And he told the story that the reason he decided to do it, after being married to my mom for all those years, he wasn't really bothered about her faith. He let her go to church. He was doing his own Muslim thing. We were doing Ilaya and all these things. It was the letter that I wrote to him. I wrote him a letter from my boarding school then, telling him how he needed to give his life to Christ. And I was not even aware that that was the persuasion. That was the tipping point. That was the one thing that made my father decide to become a Christian. Like I said, I love everybody. I'm not here to talk about religion. I'm here to tell a story of my dad. I'm telling you guys the story of a father and a daughter. I'm telling you guys the story of what I learned from my father, lessons from my dad that has really shaped my life. And I know that those lessons will be a huge blessing to you. But how sweet would those lessons be if you don't know the background of this father of mine who turned 80? My father turned 80 years old on June 11th of this year, looking as amazing as ever. If you guys want to see videos, pictures of my dad, y'all go to my Instagram page, my Facebook page. I think it's on my LinkedIn as well. I did a nice gratitude, a nice video to honor his 80th birthday and to honor him on Father's Day. Thank you guys so much. So this man that I have grown to know for over 40 years became a Christian because of one letter that I wrote to him. Until this day, if I tell you that he never really told me, but he told his friends. And his friends who are, they come out, like we call them dad as well. They come to the house, they shared that story with my mom. And my mom in turn shared with me. My dad is a typical Nigerian man. He's a Nigerian African father. They're not used to sharing emotions. They're not used to displaying their emotions. So I don't think he felt the need to share that information with me. He had to hold on to his fatherly pride or whatever. I mean, now he's a lot different, but we still haven't had that conversation. But I know that that information, what it meant to me is the fact that as much as I looked at my dad like this person, the way we reference our fathers in Nigeria, like they are these things, like daddy's there, and children are here, and mothers are here. That's the way my dad was. He wasn't like a mean person. He was just a very, he held himself well. He provided for us through and through. He wasn't the kind of father that would say, okay, you, wife, bring this, let me bring this. So today that men will talk about, we do it 50-50. I didn't grow up in that kind of household. It wasn't a 50-50 kind of household, even though it was a polygamous household. My dad did what he needed to do for every single one of his children to the best of his ability. He provided for the entire household. Now, if your mother wanted to do something extra for you, he would never stand in the way. But whatever came from daddy came to everybody on a very playing field. It was like across the board. Everybody got the same treatment from daddy. That was one thing that he taught me. My dad was so strong. Like he kept the household with 2 wives, 7 children, okay, 9 children. Another story. A household with 2 wives and 9 children, and he ruled and reigned like a king, not lording over everybody. My dad never one day, like Nigeria, parents will whoop their children. My mother used to beat me, Jesus. That woman, she used to beat me for Africa. But my dad, I've never seen my dad whoop a child, like for real, for real. Like you guys don't believe me, but that is the honest truth. My daddy, FGJ, I've never seen him raise his hands and say he's gonna whoop a child. But if you do anything wrong, God help your soul. You do something wrong and they say, I am telling your father, yeah. It's gonna be like the worst day of your life. For a man who never raised his hands, he doesn't raise his voice, he doesn't shout, he doesn't yell. That man is so very principled, very simple. But if you do something wrong and your mother has to say, yes, go to your father, Walai, you will tell her, just beat me or the beating, beat me, as in beat me. Don't take me to that. Like, we had that kind of reverence for him, that kind of respect, the honor. Like, my dad carried himself so well. Granted, there are negative sides to the way he was as an African man. He had very little ability to display emotion. And I don't think it was his fault because he was never raised to do that. I don't think anybody ever taught him how to emotionally connect to his children, even his wife. I don't even know how he married them, but I would hear my mom complain about some things, and I'm like, really? You're married to this man? Like, okay. But besides all of those things, I learned some amazing lessons from my father. So that's the story of my father. The man who was a Muslim became a Christian, running a polygamous home, even after he became a Christian. When he became a Christian, he rose. Oh, I'll tell you his title. Yes, sweetheart. I will tell you his title. When he became a Christian, he rose to the highest level of most senior. Yeah, he was an Alhaji. He was an Alhaji, but when he became a Christian, he rose to the highest level, where he is today, most senior apostle in the church where he is. And that's the church where my mom introduced him to Cherubim and Seraphim CNS Church, and he rose to the leadership position. In fact, the church that my dad is currently in as a leader, he is second in command. I think he's first, I don't even know, but he rose to the highest level of leadership in the church. And he's considered at the age of 80 as the most senior apostle. So when you talk about most senior apostles like bishop, like the Methodists or the Anglican people will give you the bishop and the archbishop, and some like the Catholics will give you their own. The CNS, they have their own, they call it the most senior apostle. That is like you are at the top. And then the next level now is like maybe you become the pastor or something and they call you like the shepherd, or I don't know. I really, yeah. But I know he's really up there. And look at this man's life, the legacy that he is leaving with us. He's still living, by the way. My dad looks amazing, guys. You guys need to see his picture. Like for 80, he did an 80th birthday shoot in Nigeria. And when I saw the pictures, I was like, I saw him in December. I was back home in December. But when I saw those pictures, I am such a proud daughter of this amazing man. His body is banging. Like he looks fit. He looks well. He looks rested. He doesn't look aged. He looks like he's in his 60s or something. He looks well taken care of. I know people will say, oh, because he has money, blah, blah, blah. There's so many people who have money in Nigeria, but they don't take care of themselves. My daddy exercises. He works out. He goes for walks. He he does a lot. He stays active. He eats well. He takes care of his physical wellness, his physiological checkups. He doesn't play with it. So here are 5 critical lessons. Before I give you guys the lessons that I learned from my dad, we're going to go on a quick break and I'm going to highlight our sponsors for the night. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you, Inke Konga, for being a huge contributor, for being an amazing interactive listener tonight. Sammy McLaren, L.O. Smith. I can't see everybody on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube, but thank you guys for joining us tonight. But I'm going to be right back after this brief commercial break from our sponsors to continue lessons that I learned from Daddy. All right, it's going to be a good night, guys. Thanks for joining me.
My name is Dr. Ohiko Salajinaru. I'm a beauty professional, med spa operator, franchise owner, and director of education at HD Pro Global Beauty Institute and Body Med Spa. As a mother of 3 boys and immigrant business owner, it is important for me to have a steady and sustainable source of income that transcends economic, government, or public health uncertainties and instability like the global pandemic we are still recovering from. That is why HD Pro Global has created multiple systems that allows my team and I to train, educate, certify, and establish independent med spa operators like us all over the globe. For more information, check out our website to attend a free webinar to get started on your path to continuous success, no matter what is going on in your part of the world. I cannot wait to meet you. Thank you.
All right, we are back, guys. Thank you guys so much, HD Pro Global. HD Pro Global is a medical beauty aesthetic company based out of Dallas, Texas, and they operate their business all over the globe, offering training and certification programs to help individuals start in the medical aesthetic business. They train, they certify. They have a business in a box franchise program that they can get you set up with your business from any part of the world that you're located in. They also offer healthcare career courses that can help you get started in the healthcare space. And for those people who are in Nigeria, Africa, who are looking to relocate to the US and the United Kingdom, you definitely need to connect with HD Pro Global because you can learn a skill, a healthcare skill that will allow you to fast track your immersion process when you move to a new place. Healthcare is one of the highest demanding professions, yes, in the US and in the United Kingdom. So if you want to learn more about all of the wonderful things that HD Pro Global has to offer, go to the website, hdproglobal.com, connect with them on social media at HD Pro Global, and they'll be happy to take all your questions. A team member is always available. If you call this number, 469-469-4255, 420-0246. 469-420-0246. A team member is always available to answer all your questions and respond to all your inquiries. So thank you, HD Pro Global, for sponsoring the show tonight as we continue our journey into lessons from Daddy. Yes, lessons from Dad. My father. Before the break, I gave you guys a background of this Muslim man who became a Christian at age 13. My age 13, not his, my age 13. And at that time, he was already well into his 40s. So he was already far gone in his faith as a Muslim. And now I'm going to tell you some of the things that he taught me to do to become a strong, independent woman, independent individual who is able to stand for what is right. The first thing that I remember, not remember, but the first thing that I'm going to share with you tonight is my father taught me to be very kind to myself. My father taught me to be very kind to myself. What does it mean to be very kind to yourself? It means being able to care for yourself in spite of what anybody else has to contribute to your process. Be very kind to yourself means doing all that is necessary to become the person that you envision yourself to become. Not waiting for anybody to cheer you on, to encourage you, to support you, to back you up, but just doing what is necessary to be all that you envision yourself to be. My father taught me that because guess what? All of the lessons I'm telling you guys tonight about my father is they're not lessons that he sat down and said, yeah, look at this. This is what you do. These are lessons that I observed in his life. These are lessons that in hindsight, you say when you're going through something, you truly recognize the value after a fact. In hindsight, I look at it like, this is what my father was really trying to show us. This man was extremely kind to himself. He was extremely kind to himself because he treated people right before my eyes exactly how he wanted to be treated. He was a very staunch golden rule man. He took care of his body, his fitness, his health and wellness. He bought himself the nicest things. Woo! My daddy can dress, y'all. Oh, that man can dress. He worked very, very hard. He built houses that we lived in, moved into, celebrated in, grew up in. He built those houses off the back of his sweat, his hard work. He built them to a very tasteful life. When I tell people in America that this is, when I went home to Nigeria, I did a video and a tour of my family home. And I think I'm going to repost that video tomorrow. And people were like, was that a palace? Was that a castle? I'm like, no, that is my father's house. That was the house that I grew up in, at least one of them, because we lived in different houses, but never rented houses that my father built. Hello, guys, TikTok, Instagram, everybody. Hi, guys. I'm telling a story about lessons that I've learned from my dad. Babs and Guy Zoye, how are you? So, Andre, I can't see the name very well. Andrew Pope, yes, how are you? So, he treated himself very well. And by doing that, it allowed me to give myself permission to understand that I need to treat myself very well. I don't have to wait for anybody to do it for me. I don't have to wait for a man. I don't have to wait for my parents. I don't have to wait for anybody. I need to be very intentional about treating myself well, grooming myself well, showing up in the world with my highest and best self, looking amazing all the time. That's how people see Dr. OJ. They're like, you always show up looking nice. Yes, girl. Why would I not do it? I am the daughter of my father. I show up looking like $1,000,000 all the time. My father gave me the example of it's not what you're wearing, it's who's wearing the clothes. It's not, let me repeat that. It's not what you're wearing, it is who is wearing the clothes. So the clothes don't wear you. You wear the clothes. It doesn't matter what label is on it or not, no label. It doesn't matter. It's who is within that outfit. It is the character, it's the confidence, it's the aura. It's how you position yourself. It's how you put it together. It's the charisma that you used to carry and present yourself to the world. That look at me, I should be taken seriously. I am someone that you need to listen to. I am someone that you want to get to know. You want to get to meet me. That is the spirit that my dad put on the inside of me. And that is how I show up in my world every single day. So that is lesson number one. He taught me to be very kind to myself. I love myself. Because if I don't love myself, how in the world am I able to be kind to other people? You can never give what you don't have. If you're not kind to yourself, if you don't love yourself, if you don't appreciate and take care of yourself, how are you going to do the same for other people? Even the children that you birth, you're not able to extend that emotion, that feeling, that kindness, that gesture to them if you're not able to do it for yourself. Aristotle says to know yourself is to grow yourself. My father taught me the importance of becoming a better person every single day. That means you work very, very hard to live a great life. He taught me that, look, all of these things that you see, it's not by accident. This big house, the cars and everything, and the luxury. I grew up with drivers, chauffeur drivers driving me everywhere. We always had helps in the house, but they always make sure that we learned all the basics as well. So while the house helps were doing their chores, the children were doing their chores too. So we went like spoiled brats or nothing. No, 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 no. We learned how to really do everything that was needed. In fact, the children, in many cases, got to do more chores than the help, especially when we're not in school or we're not like going to about our business outside of the house. If you're in the house, you're going to do some work, a lot of work. So my dad taught me that you work really hard to live a great life. A great life does not just happen to you by chance. He didn't believe in the lottery system mentality. He didn't believe in, oh, let's just sit here and pray and trust God to drop all of the blessings on our life. So when people wonder where I get my work ethic from, my drive, my ambition, my creativity, my ability to want to show up in excellence all the time, that was a lesson that I learned from my father. It wasn't anything that I just picked up. It was the nature within me that magnetized the nurture that he was given. And that nurturing came from the example that he was showing, the life that he lived. He lived a life of excellence. He worked very hard, but he lived a great life. He's still living a great life. At 80 years old, that man is busting it up like, you know what? He just got himself a brand new vehicle for his 80th birthday, and he's like, this is what I want for my 80th birthday. I was like, okay, okay, that's what we're going to do. And all the kids chipped in, and he chipped in. We didn't just chip in and just bought it for him. He put his money in there too. Like, my dad is still living that example. Like, yeah, you're going to do for me because you're my children, and that's the blessing. But I tell you, I can still do for myself, regardless of what your children think you do for me. And that's the kind of father that I have. A strong legacy, a strong patriot, a strong leader in our family, showing us a great example of what a man needs to be, what a father should be, and what we need to have and become in our lives, even in our own personal spaces. So my father taught me to love myself, be kind to myself, and he taught me to work hard to live a great life. One thing my father taught me was expect no favors from nobody. I was like, this man is so weird. Like, with all the connections that he had, it was easy for him to live an easy life. But he didn't choose to have an easy life. He didn't choose to rest on favors or favoritism or using connections. Yes, he had a lot of network that really helped him, but he came into those spaces with a very good mindset that I am here because I have earned this spot. So anything anybody wants to add to me is extra. And my dad would never seek out favors that he didn't feel he already deserved. He would not do it. I don't know whether it was that pride or whatever, because my dad is a very proud man. That man is proud, eh? But he taught me never to expect favors from people. He said, because it puts you at a disadvantage all the time. He says it puts you in a position where you don't really have control over. He had this conversation with me. He said it puts you in a place where you have to usually compromise yourself, compromise your ethics, compromise your values just because you're looking for a favor. So don't look for favors. Just work hard and just earn everything that you need to earn and let God help you with the rest. He believed so much in the help of God. Woo! My dad is one person that he believed so much in being helped by God. He believed so much in being connected to his higher source. He believed so much in being connected to his creator. My dad had that, he just had that thing about him. He knew that everything was always going to work out for him as long as he stayed faithful to God and he stayed faithful to everyone and himself. So he didn't expect any favors from anybody. And when things worked out for him, he was very appreciative of it. So, guys, that is lesson number 3. The last thing I'm going to share with you tonight, not that that's all the lessons I've learned, but these are the 4 critical ones that I really am heavy on my heart with tonight, and I just want to share with you guys. And hopefully, it adds some value to you and it helps to move the needle forward for you as well. My father taught me to be very grateful. He taught me gratitude. He taught me how to be very grateful for the little blessings, for the big blessings, for the medium-sized blessings. That anybody showing up for you in your life, doing something for you, it's not a requirement and there's no expectation of it. But because they did it, be grateful. Because God woke you up this morning, be grateful. Because you have air in your lungs. Some people need oxygen tank to breathe. Be grateful. Because you're moving your limbs, you raise your hands and your legs and they move, and you stretch and you're able to stretch and your bones are not weak. Be grateful. Because you open your mouth and you speak and a volume comes out and people can hear and you can project your voice and you're not using a voice assistive device to speak. Be grateful. Because you can hear the ears that God has given to you is working very well and it is functioning. Be grateful. Because you can put food in your mouth and eat and chew. Some people need dentures. They are not old, but they need dentures. Some people cannot even chew the food because they have some type of gastrointestinal disease, something that is wrong with their metabolic system, and they're not able to eat. They are limited because so many things are wrong with them. But you are able to do those things easy, freely. Be grateful that you even have the basic essentials. The basic things that we take for granted. We have food to eat. We have clothes on our back. We have a place to lay our heads down and we're not sleeping on the streets. Be grateful. My dad taught me gratitude. Gratitude. To be grateful for every single thing that God, anybody has done for you. Gratitude should be your permanent location. My father taught me that lesson fundamentally because I saw that man all the time that I have lived under his roof till I moved away to the United States. That man was always full of gratitude for every little thing, for every big thing, for everything that was not even done. He was a very grateful man. So I've talked about 4 lessons that I learned from my father. The first one is love yourself. Be kind to yourself. Not just kind, be extremely kind to yourself. The second one is work hard to live a great life. Number 3, he said, baby girl, don't expect no favors. It's never going to work out for you. Just don't expect no favors. Just do the best you can and let God take care of the rest. And last but not the least for tonight, guys, he taught me gratitude. To understand the importance of gratitude was something that my dad took very personal to his heart and he passed that on to his children. So guys, tonight you guys have learned a story about my father. I've spoken a lot about my daddy, DRS FGJ as I call him, for Lucia Gabriel Ginadu. That's his initial, so I call him FGJ. My father, 80 years old, amazing man, still living, breathing. Probably going to be like 120 because his mother lived to 101. So he's working hard to beat that record because God said, he said, oh, baby girl, the Lord has promised that with long life will I satisfy you and I will show you my salvation. Psalm 91, sorry. You know, that psalm was something that we memorized and we read it by heart growing up almost every day. With long life will I satisfy you and I will show you my salvation. And my family has been a living testament of that. The people in my family live a long life, especially from my father's side. Thank you. And it's just been an honor and a pleasure to just have a father such as mine. Super grateful for the privilege of having my father. And that is why I'm so proud to share him with you guys tonight, to share the story of his life and to share the story of the lessons that I've learned from that and how those lessons have really helped to shape my existence today. It has helped me build HD Pro Global. HD Pro Global is a medical aesthetic company that is doing amazing things in the marketplace and is just only getting started. We're training and certifying professionals in the medical aesthetic space. We are treating and serving clients, giving them medical aesthetic procedures, medically supervised procedures, injectables, IV infusion, body contouring services, laser teeth whitening. We're taking care of post-op clients. We're doing so much in the marketplace with our medical spa. Now we're getting ready to expand and blow it all the way up with our Beauty and Career Institute, introducing healthcare courses into the mix. Oh, yes, we are. We are, darling. We are all over the world, though. We're not just in Texas. Someone just asked me, I checked your website. Are you in Texas? No, yes, we are located out of Texas, but we do business everywhere. So, whatever you need, we can definitely serve you. We have positioned ourselves to offer online courses. We've positioned ourselves to offer so many amazing benefits to you wherever you are in the world. So, guys, eye care. We don't do eye care. We're not, no, we're not ophthalmologists. No, we're not. We are medical aesthetic brand. Medical aesthetics offers medically supervised procedures for aesthetics like beauty procedures. When you talk about injectables that allows you to transform your body and physical appearance, usually in about 90 days or less, that's what we do. Facials, we have radio frequency facials, we have body treatments, we have dental treatment. That is aesthetic, not the dental care. You still have to go get your cleaning and your checkups at the dentist. But we offer the laser teeth whitening, aesthetics, yeah, just to make you whiter and brighter. We offer laser body treatments. We offer M-Sculpt. Now we also have our injectors, our injectables, Botox, to get rid of the fine line and wrinkles, fillers to get rid of the sagging skin and all those things. Yes, ma'am. So I'm just kind of giving you guys a picture of all the things that we do. And for most of those treatments, we also offer training and certification. So if you want to get into the business side of things, you want to own your own medical spa, you want to work in a medical spa, you need to get trained first and certified by us, and then you can take that and use it for whatever. And if you're looking to get your business started, we also help you get that set up. We have a Beauty of Business Masterclass where we train our technical professionals, entrepreneurs, startups to build solid structures and systems for their businesses. And we do a lot. You just need to go to the website, hdproglobal.com, to learn so much more. But most importantly, follow us on social media. We are on TikTok, we are on Instagram, we're on Facebook. So follow us on all those platforms for more information. And please feel free to DM, send an email. Our email is that is hi, hello, hi, at hdproglobal.com for more information. Or you can email me directly as the CEO is dr.oj at hdproglobal.com. I will also respond to your email. So, you can call the number, the customer service line, 469-420-0246, and somebody will always respond to you. Somebody's always going to get back to you. Someone's always going to be available to answer your questions and just help you get to what you need with us. So, guys, listen, it's a lot of value. But that business would not exist if I was not the woman that I am, and if my daddy did not instill in me all the values and the ability to persevere, to work hard, to work really hard, to do what is needed to just make it happen for your family. You know, he taught me all of those things. And that is the spirit with which I build and I teach and I train and I speak. And I use that to just bring a lot of light and love to the world around me. Guys, thank you so much. Amazing show tonight. Onye Show Designs. Thank you for your amazing interaction. I appreciate you. My top interactors tonight. Oh my goodness. Andrew, let me see. I'm trying to see. Yes. Andrew Pope, Babs Ndoye, and Inke Konja. Inke Konja on TikTok, man. You rock, girl. You rock, you rock, you rock. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, for being here. Asmahan Shuman. Yes. Sorry if I butchered your name. I apologize. But thank you, everyone. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn. Now, for the final straw tonight, before I leave you guys tonight, everybody, everywhere, omnipresent with me. I need you guys to run on your phone. Run on your computers. Go to YouTube right now. Nah. Go to YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dr. OJ Speaks. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dr. OJ Speaks. If I have added value to you tonight, if I have made you laugh tonight, if I have given you one single thing to think about tonight, if you have spent the time and you feel like the time you spent with me is extremely valuable and it has been worth your time, go to my YouTube channel tonight, subscribe, turn your notification on, share that page with your friends on your WhatsApp groups, and invite people, like the videos, comment, let me know your thoughts, and help me grow that community. The YouTube community needs you, each and every one of you. Become a valuable member of our community, and I promise you one thing. You're going to be entertained, you're going to be educated, you're going to be motivated, you're going to be inspired, but most importantly, you're going to find one thing every single time to move the needle forward in your life every day. Because that's what I was put on this earth to do, to bring love and light to people with my words, to bring solutions to problems with my words, to find a way to make my words count in the hearts of men by just adding value to them. That was what I was put here to do. So guys, thank you so much for such an amazing time. This is Dr. OJ Speaks. It's been a wonderful Wednesday Night Live, speaking on lessons from Daddy. All right, guys, I will be back next Wednesday. So set your timers, set your calendars. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube. Follow me on all social platforms so you will be aware. Yes, you will be very aware when I come on live again. Yes, because guess what? I will be back next week. And y'all don't know what's going to be coming, but it's going to be great. Yes, girl. Thank you. Kekonya, you're the best, girl. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the shares. Thanks for the follow. All right. Without further ado, we are going to be rounding up tonight with our soundtrack, produced and directed by Shizo to the World for Dr. OJ Speaks.
Yeah. Oh no. She's old, yeah. So many of us got what to say. But we don't have the means, but we can listen, yeah. Things that we sharpen our vision, yeah. Oh yeah. Negativity getting out of the way. By listening to us that we bring life, yeah. Plus it's like the voice of an angel, yeah. Dr. OJ, visionary, extraordinary. That burning like you've been trying to die up. With it and bringing life to the dream. Yeah, so we are Ruthie, there's Abby, and she's so, yeah. Transforming one life at a time. With the best voice that you have. The OJ keep on speaking for us. You're the voice you want to hear. You have the positivity. Yeah. Dr. OJ keep on speaking.